Hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sade Cherie, and this is the Millie Life. Before I continue, technical difficulties, I need you guys to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I wanted to talk a little bit about the season finale of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, I'm not going to do a full step-by-step, scene-by-scene review because there was not a lot going on in this last episode. Um, yes, I'm just going to talk about the pertinent things that happened and then overall how the season was. So again, before I start, please like, share, and subscribe. Okay, so this episode, I believe it opened up with Shamia and Gerald. Shamia was introducing her husband Gerald to their surrogate, and it was a little weird that he hadn't met her yet. That's a little odd. I could understand he's a very busy man. They are very wealthy, and from my understanding, he is running, a lot of HVAC operations for different large corporations. So I can understand his time is precious, but you would think he would have met the person who might be having his child. Anyway, we see that he says maybe 10 words and then skedaddles up the stairs. She introduces the surrogate to her parents via FaceTime. Very sweet scene. We move over to Drew, I think is next. We see Drew and her mom going to look at houses with Drew's realtor. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Drew actually brought tears to my eyes. And she gets a bad rap. People say, oh, she's acting. This is just bad acting. Is giving Tyler Perry, is giving Tubi. However, this episode, I feel like Drew got the most airtime she's gotten all season in one single episode. We see her and her mom looking at homes again, like I said. She explains why. We now know in present day how this all unfolded, but she says in her confessional and while talking to her mom, she needs to, get her ducks in a row. She needs to prepare for the worst. There's a possibility that the judge could side and rule with Ralph, and she might have to vacate the premises and she'll need somewhere to stay. So she's just trying to prepare herself just in case that happens. We now know that is exactly what happens. And while she's talking to her mom about this, she kind of expresses how hurtful it is for the person who you wanted to do life with, the man that you were in love with, the man that you created two beautiful children with out of love, now thinks you're a bad mom, which I think is bogus. I think it's BS. And the reason I think it's BS, this man did not have a complaint that we saw on national TV about Drew and her parenting at all over the past 4, 5, 6 seasons. Mom's word, he ain't said nothing about her being absent, about her being gone. Truth be told, the time on screen, the kids were with Drew most of the time. So I don't think he really thinks she's a bad mom. I think this man just didn't want to pay child support. I think Ralph is a narcissist. I think he is selfish. I think he's manipulative, and I think he didn't want to pay child support. So he said he's going to do what he has to do, what he needs to do to prevent that from happening. And if that means making Drew look like a bad person, a bad mom on national TV to the world and having himself vindicated, that's exactly what he's going to do. And that's exactly what he did. I don't like Ralph. I can't stand Ralph. I feel like Ralph deserves all the days of a man who's played games with his family, with his wife, embarrassed her. I think he deserves all the bad days that a person like that should get. I don't like him. I think he should be banned to the basement forever. Anyway, that was that scene. It was very heartfelt. She really broke down, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm trying to work up a tear. No, tears were falling. It was very, very sad. I feel so bad for her, especially because as a mom, I'm not a mom, but if I were a mom, I imagine if you're a mom who's nurtured, raised, been there for your kids every single day, you want your kids with you. Even when they get on your nerves, I'm sure you want your kids with you. That's how you know they're safe. You feel safe. They feel, safe and protected. Everybody feels loved. And it's a bad situation. She lost full physical custody, but gets visitations, and they share full legal custody. I believe that's the agreement, but we'll see how that turns out present day. Anyway, moving forward, eventually later in the episode, they have a birthday party for her mom. And it's a nice scene. She invited Phaedra, Cynthia, Portia, and they all showed up. All of them looked fabulous. Her mom looked fabulous. Her mom is 81, would not have guessed it. Her mom looks like she could be in her late 60s, early 70s. And it was a nice party. We did see a little awkwardness with Dr. Ken. Now, if you are a reality show watcher like me, you've seen Dr. Ken before. I think he's been on Married to Medicine, if I am correct. He was the psychologist, therapist for Dr. Simone and Cecil. And I feel like I've seen him on something else. Maybe the Braxton Family Values. I know they used to use Dr. Sherry, but I've seen him somewhere else as well. Anyway, he comes by. He is Drew's therapist and, speaks to Drew, who's there to celebrate her mom, which also is a little odd because most doctors and most therapists don't hang out with their patients, their clients. Anywho, he gives Phaedra the most seductive, longest hug. And when I say it was gross and I want to peel my skin off, it was disgusting. Do I think Phaedra was offended? I don't think so. And that could be because they know each other and that's just how they are. I don't know, but it was just creepy and uncomfortable to watch. So, yuck. Now, after that scene, what else happened? We see Portia and Sway. Portia and Sway are sashaying down the road to love. They basically say, hey, I like you, you like me. What's going on with the other people waiting in the wings for you? They both say they're going to cut off the others. Their rotation is going to be down to one, each other. And it's a cute little scene. They seem very much infatuated with each other. And we know present day, they're still together. So that's that. And with Pinky, I don't think we saw much of Pinky. If we did, I don't remember. I'm just going to talk about, the pertinent things that happened. With Kelly and Phaedra fighting Kelly's legal custody battles, Phaedra had a win. And Kelly's ex-husband sounds awful. But we learn at the end of the episode that he does have to go to jail because of back child support, and he can't get out until he pay that money and the monions. And that's how that turned out. The major scene is at K. Michelle's listening party. So K. Michelle, present day, just dropped her country album, I believe. I've not listened to it. I plan on listening to it. I am a K. Michelle music fan. Now, I do not like K. Michelle on this show. I'm not going to lie. Not for me. But at the party, it's a cute scene. The ladies are having a good time. There's a little housewife, very normal, traditional housewife scene where Shamia presents Drew with the bill from her HOA due to the horse from the last episode pooping on the lawn. And, they go back and forth about that. Don't know if it's real or not. And then at the listening party, Kay allows each lady to sing a little bit of, her song. They don't all know the words, so they're just singing a little ditty. And Drew gets the mic. Sounds good to me, but she didn't know the words like most of them didn't. They have a little kerfuffle at the end. Kay was being shady. Drew went back and forth, showed texts that Kay was lying about Black the entire time. Nobody really cared. Kay fell, not Kay fell, Drew fell, and that was the end of the episode. Now we see how the end of the show summary goes for each wife. Drew, lost the custody, like we said. Kay dropped the album. Portia and Slade are still together. Shamia is pregnant. Her surrogate is pregnant. Kelly, the kids can be on camera. Pinky filed for bankruptcy. And Phaedra, I don't remember. The end.